Okay, let's do it. Yep.
This morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Nice. Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. Hallelujah. Bless-alleluia, bless-alleluia, bless-alleluia. May you have a blissed out day filled with deviled eggs, Easter bunnies, little chocolate treats, Peeps. Somebody sent me in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, they have this Peeps festival. And it's like our Rose Parade, only with Peeps. So they take Peeps and they create things. Somebody sent me a 6-foot-high foghorn leghorn made out of Peeps. Picture of it. Is that crazy? My goodness. Yeah, they'll do all kinds of things on this beautiful, beautiful day. Well, welcome to this lovely day. It's quite the holiday trifecta, the spiritual trifecta, with Ramadan continuing. Of course, second night of Passover was last night. And then here we are with Easter. And Easter and Passover in particular, Ramadan as well, with the focus on our thoughts and our beliefs and what holds us back. And then Easter with its message of rising up, and Passover with its journey of transcendence, moving from an old place of restriction into a new place of liberation. All of those are coming together at this time, and it's a powerful time for us to get that creative message in our hearts and our minds. And we know from the Science of Mind teaching that what we talk about when we talk about resurrection, we'll get more in detail of this later on, is we're not talking about some event that happened on a mount in Israel, which is true for many people. But the reality is that that's an incredible drama, an incredible psychological story that we get to take a message out of. And we'll explore and unpack that message. And it's a message that Jesus totally understood. I mean, he said to the disciples, he said, you guys... Well, he didn't say it like that. But had he said it in the 21st century, he'd say, y'all, dude, hey, I'm not God. But I know the direct route to God. And it is through the belief that I hold about the divine. But you are mistaking me for that guy, for that thing, for that principle. So I need to kind of go somewhere so you can get the truth of who you are. That's really it in a nutshell. We'll break it down into details, but the truth is that truth is within each and every one of us. That resurrection moment is within each and every one of us. That's what we get to do. In Science of Mind, Dr. Holmes wrote this declaration of principles, what we believe. And one of them is, we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We experience the heaven to the degree that we become conscious of it. This is the time of year that reminds us to be conscious of heaven within us and to live from that beautiful space. It's a really sweet time. And it's spring. And I like chocolate Easter bunnies. So it all works out for me. I don't know about for you, but it works out really great. We're going to have a wonderful time. It's also a very interesting time to help remind us to break away from the judgments, break away from the negativity that's in our culture today that keeps reminding us of how bad things are. And truly, there are opportunities to expand and to grow, and that's what those things are here to tell us. And this also is the part that we get to transcend beyond the opinions and the expressions that bring negativity and judgment and otherness to people around the world. So powerful, powerful, powerful time. And here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley, we have a vision and a mission statement that allows us to remember how to do these things on a regular basis, individually and as community. So let's go through that right here and now. Here it is. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do.
And all the things we just said. Good morning. Let me start there. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. And all the things we just said with the mission and vision statements. We can do that when we recognize that the divine is our true nature. Okay? And so what we do is we recognize that first. So let's go into prayer. So take a deep breath. I'm just so grateful to know that there is only one divine consciousness, this scintillating energy that is expressing as all that there is. That scintillating energy, that divine consciousness, is pure love. It is well-being. It's lavish abundance. It is renewed in every moment. It's all-knowing and it's all-powerful, and it's expressing as all that there is because it is the only thing there is. So it's present right here as each and every person watching this service, as each and every person driving by, as the chairs you're sitting on, as this building, as the service itself. So the love and the inspiration and the well-being is right here. And for this, I'm just so grateful, and I let it be. And so it is.
Stand and join us. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today? How can I serve today? Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today? Sweet Spirit.
All right. The affirmation of today is, As I step into my divine power, I repeat the process of conscious creation. Let's say it all together. As I step into my divine power, I repeat the process of conscious creation. And the reading today is from the Science of Mind magazine, from Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen, and he says, jump into the flow of goodness. This Easter season, it seems appropriate to reflect on Jesus' comment to the thief on the cross next to him when he said, "Today you shall be with me in paradise." Luke 23, verse 43. It doesn't say tomorrow, the next day, or the following week. If you sense you're out of sync or even feel as if you're dying, somehow you're not in alignment with the life-sustaining current of today. To get back in, all you have to do is surrender the practices you are holding on to that are keeping you from the greater good. You naturally return to the omnipresent flow of life. Today is the appointed time to get back into the energetic exchange of life. It's nice to have a healthy financial portfolio, but to be completely unaware of it does one no good. Having a stack of poker chips in front of you can give you a lot more confidence in your choices at the table, but if you aren't putting them into play, then what's their relevance? Ernest Holmes says, it can do for us only what it can do through us. Through us is movement. Circulation of is life. Circulation is good for your body, it's good for the environment, and it's good for your world of affairs. Movement keeps the monetary system healthy as well as blessing those it comes in contact with. It's imperative to get into the flow by placing what you value into action. Scripture tells us to cast our bread upon the waters and it will return.
We welcome Dave Watkins today. He's filling in for Sherry Deeds. So Dave, take it away, my man.
How's it going, guys? And I'd like to introduce you to Miss Bunny. She says, good morning, everybody. Okay, we've got lots of bunnies that, it's my wife's favorite thing. And Miss Bunny has a little message for you. Always share your carrots. There you go. Now, so glad to be here. And we've decided we're going to name the band. This is the Steve Fowler Band, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Fowler.
All right.
And this first song is called Light of the World. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But if that light is under a bushel, it's all something kind of crucial.
You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world.
You are the salt of the earth. You are the salt of the earth. But if that salt has lots of flavor, it ain't got much in its favor.
You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world. So let your light so shine before men. Let your light so shine, so that they might know some kindness again. We all need help to feel fine.
You are the city of God. You are the city of God. But if that city's on a hill, it's kind of hard to hide it well.
You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world. So let your light so shine before men. Let your light so shine, so that they might know some kindness again. We all need help to feel fine. You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world. So let your light so shine before men. Let your light so shine, so
Thank you. Steve Fowler, everybody.
And we go into meditation, and we meditate to really stay in touch with that light that is shining within us. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Meditation is just for 3 minutes. In 3 minutes you can go very deep. So just relax into it. Follow your breath. Notice the pauses at the end of the in-breath and at the end of the out-breath. And Dave will close the meditation with a centering song. And take a deep breath. And open your eyes when you're ready to do so. We invite you to start, continue, or expand your meditation practice at home. 3 minutes of meditation is, we can fit that in our day at any point in time. So even when you feel a little thrown off during the day, at work, go to the restroom, sit for 3 minutes, and you'll be good.
People pray, they'll find the strength to carry on, while there is one who waits to fill their hearts with life anew. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can't overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. As darkness awaits the dawn, morning awaits creation's song, and with the rising sun, hope comes alive to carry on. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can't overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. Shining on, overcome, burns so bright, give them sight. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can't overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can't overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. As everyday people pray, they'll find the strength to carry on, while there is one who waits to fill their hearts with life anew. Life anew. Life anew. Life anew.
Life
Fowler
anew.
Band, ladies and gentlemen.
Dave Watkins and the Steve Fowler Band. Oh my goodness. Featuring, of course, the L's. You guys were taking a starring role today. That was beautiful. I think they like it. So, Hollywood folk, I know we're Simi Valley, but they do a lot of movies in Simi Valley, right? We got the Reagan Library because of that, right? What is a step and repeat? Do you know what step and repeat? So when you go to the academies, you see all these award shows, and the actors step up in front of this thing that has like the words all on it, and they step there and take the pictures. That's a step and repeat. Step, take a picture, repeat. Next person comes up. Step, take a picture, repeat. And I thought that in the holiday season that we're in, as well as in the award season that we were in, that step and repeat is perfect. in my mind, for what we're experiencing when we talk about this time of resurrection, of crucifixion and resurrection. It's a step and repeat moment. That's what we know from our teaching. And I'm surprised that Meister Eckhart has been able to hold on to his renowned space in the Catholic Church with some of the things he said that were actually heretical to what they were talking about, because he said that God lays on its maternity bed ever birthing the begotten, ever begotten Son over and over again. He understood in the 15th century what we understand today as if we are all the divine. We all carry this seed of perfection within us, which is the Christ consciousness. And that's why Jesus was Jesus the Christ, not last name Christ. We know that, right? He was a carpenter. He was like Jesus the carpenter, Jesus of Nazareth, who happened to also have this divine understanding of what it meant to be one with God. So much so that he has been revered for that. But we understand in this teaching, we understand that he is not the great exception, but the great, as I heard this morning, demonstration. I always thought of him as the great example, but I love it. The great demonstration of what it can be like, thank you, Larry, for that, what it can be like when we understand our relationship with God. And so here we are on this holy of holy days in the Christian faith, this day of resurrection. It's and I thought, because it is, like I said, the award season, this is maybe tied with one of the best dramas within the Bible. The story of Moses and the Passover story, that's an amazing drama too. Here's this guy, firstborn, floated out on a river so that he wouldn't get killed, then later comes back, because that's the Passover story, right? You put the blood over a Passover, and they didn't want that to happen to Moses because he was a firstborn, so they floated him out on this river. Then he comes back and kicks the pharaohs by saying, hey, we're taking all these people out of here and we're liberating them so they can transcend this bondage place, right? And then that drama gets retold. See, that's the thing about the Christian faith. In the Jewish tradition, there's a thing called midrashing. Midrash is to tell a story again and again. See, so the story of Moses is actually in many ways the resurrection of the Jewish people from Egypt into Israel, into the Promised Land, is similar in some respects to Jesus' story of coming into Jerusalem, riding on the donkey, stubborn as he was, celebrated, only to be sent out into a field on a hill to be crucified, to rise up, to be liberated, to transcend this human experience. It's a similar thing. It's the Midrashic story. But these stories, as we read them in the Bible, are really psychological dramas. And so I think the award for best psychological drama this year will go to Easter! Okay, you know how sometimes I can get off on a tangent, but I'm not going to let myself go into one today on that one. I'm going to stay right here in this space as I think about the award show that we most recently experienced. So here we are in the midst of this Easter story. And here's something really significant about the Easter story. It's not tied to a date on the calendar. And that's another reason why we know it's a psychological story, not a linear, literal story that we're supposed to celebrate. See, it's tied to an event that is tied to the earth itself. This is the time of year when the sun crosses over the equator. Crossing over is also another way of saying crucifying, crossing over. So the sun crosses over the equator and brings us into this new season of rebirth in the northern hemisphere. We go from winter into spring on our way into summer. And so this experience has to be set up in a way by that calendar. So, the first full moon after the equinox begins the journey into Easter. It's a very complicated thing. Look it up. To Google is your friend. It'll tell you the whole story. You don't need to hear it from me right now. But trust me on this one. It's tied to the earth. The dates are tied to the earth. It's tied to fit the cosmic energy that's taking place at this time. And so it's helping us to readjust and to realign ourselves to our natural relationship to this thing that we are a part of, which is the earth itself. So this is a big story. It's a human story. It's a nature story. It's an earth story. It's a cosmic story. It's here to realign us to the truth of who we really are. Powerful stuff. stuff is happening right now as we move from this death experience into the rebirthing experience. Time for this season to take us into a truth that takes place in every moment of our day. In every moment of our day, we have thoughts that die, that no longer need to be used, and new thoughts that arise. We are crucifying and resurrecting in every moment. If you think about it, when you breathe, you do it. When you go to sleep at night and wake up the next day, you do it. But some of us don't. Some of us do. We hold our breaths. We don't fully breathe deeply. We wake up in the morning and pick up all the problems and put them back into the pocket. We put them on the nightstand when we go to bed, wake up in the morning and just grab all that stuff and shove it back into the pocket and go on about the same old day. No resurrection, rebirth, crucifixion going on at all. Put a trash can next to your bed at night and crucify some of you today and throw it away so that tomorrow you can have a new day. That's what this is about, you see. We need to step into the spring of our life and experience the rebirth of creation. Whoa, I don't think I've had one of those in a while. That's so great. Thank you. What did I just say? I'm glad this is recorded. I'm so glad this is recorded so I can go back. I had a gem right there. Y'all heard it. You must have heard it. Remember it, because it's something that's important to us. Now, here's the great thing about this experience, this time of year that we're in. We're in a moment that is telling us how powerful we are. Dr. Holmes talks about this in The Science of Mind, our founder, when he says to us that we all have the ability to transcend previous experiences and rise triumphant. Say that word, triumphant. Isn't that a fun word? Triumphant, right? Above them. But we shall never triumph over them while we persist in going through the old mental actions. That's the deal. This is what this time of year is to remind us. Stop the old mental actions. Put them away. Move into some new mental steps. We must repeatedly cross over. We must repeatedly cross over. Like the sun has crossed over the equator. We must repeatedly get rid of old and walk into the new. And when I say get rid of old, I'm not saying to throw your life away, because it never happens that way anyway. The stuff that is old, it really becomes reconstituted in many ways. We take our old ideas and we upgrade them. It's kind of like the 2.0, 3.0 thing on your computer. It really is. When you get a new program on your computer, it doesn't just take out all the stuff in Word. It just adds some new features. And they call it new. This is what we get to do with our thoughts, too. We get to add some new features as we move forward. And as we recognize our ability to transcend our previous experiences, as we recognize our triumphant power, then that creates the energy for the divine flow to come into our experience. See, just the simple recognition of it opens the doorway for more knowledge, for more appearance to show up for you, right? I know you're there. I've been looking out here because I'm so excited to see all the people here. I know you're there, and you're watching, and I'm glad you are. We have a lot of folks that are tuning in on Facebook this morning. So letting that divine energy flow through us, it's important. It's really important to recognize this divine energy because, okay, spoiler alert, there are no neutral thoughts.
Wow.
None. You may think, that doesn't really matter. It does. The universe has got huge ears and no sense of discrimination. So everything that you say, it's hearing. Everything. All of it. And so the negative thoughts, the so-so thoughts, and the positive thoughts. And sadly enough, though, the negative thoughts tend to have a little more energy than our positive thoughts. Marianne Williamson talks about this. I loved it when she said that. People that hate do not take time off. They just hate all the time. You know, the haters are powerful. Lovers, on the other hand, I love that. And I love that. Okay, I love that. But they let it fall off in between. They're not walking around all day going, I love, 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 love. Love doesn't work that way. It's so soft. So, and our thoughts are like that too. Our thoughts are like that too. They're not so strong. The strong thoughts are the ones that are constantly nagging at you. And those nervous, negative, nilly-willy thoughts are the ones the universe is hearing and repeating. Time to crucify some of those thoughts. Time to move into the mental actions of letting that stuff go. That's where we are right now. It's time to put love in the flow of divine energy. Choose that instead, and then we can bring, this constitutes and contributes to our healing, and it moves us into that space of transcendence. And that's where we are right now. We're in that opportunity for transcendence. Don't believe it? Look out in your yard. Look at everything that is transcending its current experience and opening up into the flower of who it wants to be. That's you right now. If you feel that within you, if you feel any sense of constriction within you, congratulations. It's spring. It's time to release your imprisoned splendor. This time of year also calls us to pay attention to the divinity that is within us, to realize that the Christ in you is asking for a rebirth, resurrection moment within your being, right? We shouldn't be afraid. So many of us, I feel so blessed that my dad was a psychologist, and so his faith and his religion was psychology. He didn't demonize faith, though, but we didn't go to church. So I came into this experience without a lot of baggage, a lot of hate, a lot of stuff that happened that I needed to get rid of. But I understand that many of you have had that experience. Many of you came out, you're recovering Catholics and reforming Jews. I understand the guilt and the other stuff that comes from all that. I get that. But we can let some of that go now and then begin to grab back. Remember I said like old stuff's not bad stuff, it just gets to be upgraded. We can go back now and grab some of those gems from Christianity, grab some of those gems from Judaism, and realize that the Christ is within all of us, that the Messiah is within all of us, and we can all pass over into a new experience of life each and every day. Paramahansa Yogananda. Wow. He was a contemporary of Dr. Holmes. They hung out occasionally. They had a dinner or two every now and then, hung out with Luther Burbank. This guy was incredible. And he wrote this wonderful book called The Second Coming of Christ, among all the different books. And in it he says that your God love has long remained hidden within you. Hidden within you. He says, crucified by your inner indifference. Think about that, your inner indifference. How many times have we had the divine spark? Have we had that notion I should do this or do that? And you just kind of, but out later. That's indifference. No, grab some passion. Grab some passion. And how do you do that? By deep daily meditation. You awaken your spiritual ardor and resurrect it into the consciousness of the absolute bliss. Sit. This is why we do meditation. It's not because, I need 3 minutes to get cool down to talk or nothing like that. It's not so you guys can get quiet for a minute. No, it's the gap, the God awareness place to tap into that absolute bliss that resides within you. And when we do that, we release the hidden splendor. We release the inner indifference, and we find our deeper passions in life. We step into our bliss, and it may take some patience. It may take some time. It may take the belief and acceptance. The other big thing of the day is the tomb. Jesus in the tomb. What is that tomb thing all about? It's a place where you've already died, so it's not the death. The tomb's not the death. It's a place of gestation. It's a place of rest and stillness. In many ways, you could take the W off, the T off, and put a W. The tomb is the womb. It's that place of renewing yourself, of birthing this new idea, right? It's the way we can step into ideas and possibilities. It's where we can see the thing before it becomes the form. This is the other thing we're talking about with the meditation, with the stillness, with the silence, so we can see the thing. Transcendence is not about disappearance. It's not about leaving something around. I transcend and it's gone. It's about appearing. It's about expanding into this new great thing. And so these deaths and this death story, the death of the life of the the Israelites in Egypt, the death of Jesus on the cross, the death of your old ideas, the death of the job, the death of the relationship, the death of the place where you're living to go to the new place that you're being to, all of that creates space, an emptiness, a void that nature abhors. Nature wants to fill the void. So not only do we get to let go of something, we get to invite Spirit to bring something greater and new into our experience. But it requires us to seek Spirit for the clues as to where we might go, to dive into some soul guidance, to be led, to become a vehicle so that the inner presence can move us past our resistance to what might be standing in the way of us making the move into that new good space. We must align with the Spirit, align with what we know and what we feel is already within our being. You know, there were these two rabbis from competing sects that had almost come to blows. They were so stuck in their positions. And both rabbis were on the same trail going to a village. And they both had donkeys. They were carrying their load. And one donkey, as they were getting up the mountain pass, just stopped, sat down. And the other rabbi just went past him. Then he thought of what his teaching had told him. Thought that you should always help those that are stranded. Always give your heart to someone who's in need. So he stopped, and he helped the other rabbi. He helped him unload his donkey and took the load and put it on his donkey, and then helped coax the donkey up. And then they started to walk along and started to talk a little bit, and then they got hungry and they were late to their village where they were going, so they camped and they made meal together. They broke bread together. They started to talk to one another, and they actually became friends. They weren't so distant after all. And why? Because the one rabbi had aligned with his spiritual truth. He had stepped away from feeling opposites of anyone and stood in a place of enlightenment that allowed him to see something he hadn't seen before. This is the other thing that happens when we can dive into where we are in a spiritual space, when we can stand on our own 2 feet. Enlightenment, some people say enlightenment is to stand on your own 2 feet. Well, a guy named Aryashanti, a writer, wrote a wonderful book called Resurrecting Jesus. And in it he says that it sounds easy to stand up in our own life, but in order to really do it, first, the divine radiance has to burn all the old conditioning that opposes Spirit out of our system. So when we're being called to a new space, it might not feel so easy. You might feel like you're on fire. You know, you might feel a little heated under the collar. That's a good thing. What this is telling us is that Spirit is burning away some old conditioning so that our divine radiance can come forth. And I think sometimes we are so afraid of that moment. We're so afraid of that challenging moment when we get hot under the collar. We don't recognize that that's just Spirit inviting us to let something die so something new can come forth. And I talk about that because look at where our culture is today. You know, we are standing in a precipice space of sweet potential and opportunity if we cannot be afraid of those fires that are burning within us. If we could move through those opposing moments and get that out of our system so that we can be like the 2 rabbis, break bread together and walk hand in hand into their future. This is waiting within us. And this is what this season is here to remind us, that we have the power, particularly here in the Science of Mind. We have the power to do this because we understand that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life, your life now. It is everyone's life. That's a principle. That's our dogma. They say we don't have dogma. That's one of them. We got some dogma. Bark, bark. That's it, man. You know, that's where it is right now. We stand in that place. So as we move forward, this time of year is also the step and repeat, is a step into our divinity so that we can repeat the conscious creation that is taking place in life right now. And by realizing our divinity, that simple act of realizing our divinity creates the outlet for the act to take place, for us to live by that divinity, to roll away the stones and barriers of our existence, and to reveal and to release, again, our hidden splendor. It's in us. You see it in others. You look at them and you say, God, they're so bright. It was such a bright light. But sometimes that's where it stops. The bright light doesn't come out into the world. See, we're here to resurrect the bright light and to let it come out into the world. Quit crucifying it. Quit holding it back. See, the biggest thing, I think, to be resurrected right now is our desire to be, period. Full stop. Our desire to be. Fill in the blank for yourself, because we are individualized expressions of the divine, and there is a desire within you to be, that this time of year is here to remind you to let it out. Let it fly. Let it free. Bravely step into the I am. The I am. There was a Lithuanian family, Lithuanian Jews, came to America, struggled, landed down in the South, which wasn't easy for them either. Didn't have a lot, but they gave all that they could. And one day, the mother of this family, the name of the family, I got it right here, is the Karnofsky family. Anybody heard of the Karnofskys? You will in a minute. You'll know this story. So Mrs. Karnofsky sees this young boy, 7, 8 years old, young black kid, on the streets. She wasn't going to feel pity for the kid, but she wanted to give him an opportunity. She said, I've got some work at my house. Would you like to come and do it? He said, sure. She paid him a good wage to come and work at the house, and later fed him a meal. And noticed that he was kind of eyeing the piano. And she said, do you like music? I love music. So they sang songs, Jewish folk songs. And he came back repeatedly until finally he was kind of adopted by this family. And he loved music so much that they actually gave him a musical instrument. And he began to play this musical instrument. Then he learned these songs, and he used these Jewish folk songs to help him write some of the greatest hits that he ever wrote. And to the last day of his life, he wore a Star of David in honor of this family. Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong. Mrs. Karnofsky stepped into her I amness and did something brave. This is 1907. This is a long time ago, the 1900s, early 1900s. Jewish women didn't adopt young black kids in New Orleans, Alabama, in New Orleans, Louisiana, and that was brave stuff. But that's what happens when you release that in you. You know, the universe coalesces together to make it happen. God's work is not to be done by cowards, says Emerson tells us. Emerson says, not one always, but 5. Always, 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 always. That's his quote. I didn't add those always. That was him. Always, 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 always. Do what you are afraid to do. Do what you are afraid to do. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. Do the thing you fear. Death of fear is certain. I mean, think of the man that's the example that we're talking about this day. Where would we be? What story would we be telling? Who would I have given the award to today if Jesus had not done the thing he was afraid of, even knowing that death was certain, but his fear of death was not? On this day, you will be with me in heaven, he said to the thief that was next to him. To the thief that was next to him. He said, even you will go with me into heaven. Because heaven is within us. It is a state of consciousness. We need not be afraid. So also as certain as the elimination of fear is the opportunity. The opportunity to repeat, to step into our good and to repeat the divine experience. But we must engage that divine force of energy that is within us. lovely author, lost her, I think it was last year, goes with no big initials. Do you know what I'm talking about? Bell hooks. Bell hooks. Says, living life in touch with the divine spirit lets us see the light in all living beings. That light is a resurrecting life force. See, that's the other message of this time of year. He saw the light in the living being crucified next to him. There was a thief. But what he saw was a light, a divine being. The rabbi on the road saw a divine being. Mrs. Karnofsky saw a divine being. We get to see divine beings and see their light. And then sometimes we have to take action before there's any visible proof that the action is going to result in anything. That's called faith. Even before our senses can confirm the action that we take the act anyway. That's called faith. Now, on the micro level, this stuff works for us. In our own teaching, we understand that there's the micro, the personal. The personal, as we become crossed with disease in our life, then we can ascend to health. As we become crucified by the trials and tribulations of life, we can arise with our self-control. As we become in tune by sorrow and sadness, we can resurrect our happiness and resurrect our joy. We do that through treatment. We do that through meditation. We do that through working with a practitioner. We do that through classes. We do that through talking with one another. We do that coming in community. And then in coming in community, we activate the macro. And on the macro level, on the macro scale, I turn again to Yogananda and his wisdom when he says, resurrect your calmness from beneath the soil of restlessness. This is so poetic and so sweet and so powerful. Resurrect your calmness from beneath the soil of restlessness. Resurrect your wisdom from the enshrouding earthliness of ignorance. Resurrect your love from beneath the sod of mundane human attachment with its limited love for family, society, and country to divine love for all. Resurrect your love from beneath the sod of mundane human attachment to the divine love for all. That's what we get to do. We get to step into our good and repeat the divine consciousness through the creative act that we get to do when we live in that space that we're called to be. And so it is. So my Easter family, let's do this right here together. Now the affirmation comes alive, right? Okay, here it is. With power now, as I step into my divine power, I repeat the process of conscious creation. Oh, man, that feels good to do that. Yes, indeed. Time for our revealing prayer. Ooh, let's reveal some truth right now. Let's reveal some good in our lives right now. Let's know that whatever feels like limitation is just a resurrection opportunity. Whatever feels like trials or temptations or tribulations, we're going to just crucify them right now with the divine word. We're going to let something experiential happen through us so that we can have what the old timers in Science of Mind called an evidential. I don't want to demonstrate. I don't need a protest sign. No, I'm going to be an evidential. That's a lovely idea. So what are you feeling right now that you want to release? What do you want to accept? What do you want to build? What do you want to resurrect? And let's take the energy of this room, and even those of you at home, say it out loud at home too. There's such vibration that happens when the words are spoken. So what is your demonstration space? What are you calling forth today? Speak it out into the room right now. Well, I don't know if my hearing just got better, but I heard all of you. That was amazing. And so from this space of deep hearing and sensations, I recognize the one divine presence that is here in this moment, here in every moment. And through this power of opening consciousness, we allow the truth of our being to be expressed in this unified experience. There is only the one, the divine love, the infinite presence, that soul power that is rising up within each and every one of us, that is killing off all that does not serve us, and is building and birthing that which brings us more joy and happiness and harmony in life. From whatever arena of life it needs to be. It is, if it's health and wholeness, if it's the release of lack and limitation, if it's the acceptance of new ideas, if it's that I just don't know, it's clarity and guidance. Wherever it is the call that is made of the divine, ask and it shall be given. By this asking, it's more than an ask. By this accepting, by this demanding, by this shall be done, we receive the good in our lives in this moment. Feeling so blessed for the declaration of truth that takes place when a community knows what it knows and uses what it knows to bring about its good. We are that community, and we do it here, we do it now, with love and gratitude. So I release this prayer into a perfect law which says, yes, yes, of course. And so it is. Mm-hmm. All right. So, oh my goodness. Reverend Johanna, would you like to come up with me? And could you bring the envelope, please? This is a different envelope. Okay. So, yeah, the winner is you. We just had the 40-day prosperity plan. You guys are so great. And here's just one. This is beautiful. What are these envelopes? These are such great envelopes. Thank you, Reverend Stephen and Reverend Johanna, for the wonderful guidance and support throughout the 40-day abundance practice.
Mm-hmm. Well, we really want to say thank you for participating, because as a community, once again, it's an amazing community. You participated, you did the practices, however much or little you did. Your effort made a difference. And it just has been so nice to get emails and accounts from people who said that it made a difference in their lives, that they deepened their connection with Spirit, that evidential showed up in their lives. We have people emailing us and we go like, do you know that person? Did you pass this on to that person? And it's like, we don't. So, you spread the word, and really, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're very, very grateful for you.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. We heard, thank you, but give it to yourselves, because for all of us, one of the things, because it was an electronically delivered email through this Breeze process, we were able to see how to monitor how it was processed, how it worked, and it began with like 85% of the people opening it up. And 40 days later, we were still at 62% of people opening it up. That's an amazing thing for any kind of on Constant Contact, if you get 38% of the people to open your email, they give you these like banners, these badges and awards, because you're a great marketer. And so we were able, because it's not us being great marketers, it's you being a great community that really dove into this practice. And the email you were talking about, the lady said she didn't write us till the end because she was so busy, because she got a new job during the process of the 40-day program that she had been looking for, and she was affirming that through the program and then received it. So it's awesome.
And also, not only we did it, CSL Granada Hills and CSL Las Vegas did it as well. And they also have experienced this great community and great togetherness and deepening. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So that's how you supported us. That's how we supported you. We continue to support our community in these various ways. The Text to Give program, that was the breeze that we were able to use to send you those personalized emails. We're so excited to be able to do that. And we're also loving this affirmation. It came out of a class. Was it a class you did, or a class you did? A book study, right? A book study on Catherine Ponder. And that's where we got this wonderful Simi Valley affirmation of abundance that we're going to do right here and now, which says, divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley. Now, divine love is victorious. Dave, thank you.
I was just thinking, step and repeat. This community shows up every Sunday and throughout the week giving monetary donations to this center. So we keep growing, we keep moving. So step and repeat. And for this, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for the evidential of abundance that I'm seeing right here. I'm so grateful for all who donated online. I'm so grateful for the people who are calling in. And I'm so grateful for the people who are texting, knowing that the divine is always providing for each and every one of us. And so it is.
Dave, the L's, and the Steve Fowler Band.
Indeed.
Featuring Saul Latzer on drums. Welcome Saul back, everybody.
Yeah, Saul. And was here for John Bellis on drums. Bass. He lives up here. That's right. On every instrument. And of course, Lynn and Lane are our L's, and it's such a pleasure to work with this fine band. Now, we have a little tune. Everybody knows this tune by Carole King. It's called Beautiful, and we've got a special rendition of this. Okay? So, how's that feel? That feel good? Okay. And of course, featuring Steve Fowler. 1, 2, ready, and... Every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. People gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful, beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station at the workday window blowing, I've got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in the faces I see frustration growing, and I don't know it's showing. Why do I? You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. people gonna treat you better, and you find, yes you will, that you're beautiful,
Beautiful.
as you feel. I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness, maybe not all, but we can only try. Stevie! Get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Are people gonna treat you better? You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Beautiful.
As you feel. Oh yeah, you're beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yes, you're beautiful.
Beautiful.
As you feel, as you feel, as you feel. Steve Fowler, everybody. Steve Fowler.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. That was wonderful. Hey, turn to somebody right now and say, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You, sir, are beautiful. Yes, indeed. Yes, you are. Maz is beautiful. Lovely. Hey, so many thank yous. Thank you so much to the band. You guys are rocking it today. The L's and Dave, please. We're so happy to have you. And Saul, good to see you back. Kathy, thank you for the slides. Wonderful job done on the slides. Let's see, we had the Schaefers as our, and who was with you? Who's your third person? Just the two of you today. They need somebody on their service team. Come on, help them out, somebody. Ron, our stage manager, had the day off, but he was still here ready to go. Gregory, great job. Now, everybody, I got her out of the room. So Darlene is going to be in the lobby after service, and she's got a little box, and we need you guys to start filling out these heart things for Reverend Susan, for Dr. Susan, because she's leaving. So we're cool. It's all right. But we do want to start telling her things, and so see Darlene. She'll be over here in the chairs and available after service, okay? Did you hear me on that? You got it? Okay? And next week as well. If you don't get it this week, next week we'll be doing it the same thing. Okay. And Reverend Johanna will be available. She's underneath the exit sign for prayer after service to reveal the truth of you. That's how it works. I think I got it all in. Did I miss any announcements?
I don't know. There was some bass that was being shredded pretty.
You know, absolutely. Absolutely. He does do some serious shredding. Some boom, 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 boom. I love it. I love it. And Saul playing on the electric drums. Absolutely. Yes, indeedy. If we have any guests or visitors here, we do have our Karen Stelka is going to be available with your guest and visitor packet. So she'll find you because she knows everybody. So she'll know that you're new. Okay. Oh, and then that guy who was just talking, he's going to be the MC for our concert on the 30th. The concert in the parking lot right out here out back. So come on, that's going to be a lot of fun. Bill Rotella and Arlene, and that'd be a lot of fun. So come on out for that on the 30th, okay? All right, let's all stand, do our closing benediction, and then we'll sing. We'll sing loud because we know the song by now, so now we can sing it loud, all right? Here we go. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Beautiful as you feel. Here we go.
enfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you. All together, hand in hand, to see the light, we take a stand as we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow through you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, 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 love be with you.
Okay, light of light. 1, 2, ready, and. As everyday people pray, they'll find the strength to carry on, while there is one who waits to fill their hearts with life anew. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can't overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. As darkness awaits the dawn, morning awakes creation's song, and at the rising sun, hope comes alive to carry on. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. Burn so bright, overcome. Burn so bright, give them sight. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. The light of life is shining on, the dark of night can overcome. The light of life that burns so bright can take the wrong and make it right. Everyday people pray, they'll find the strength to carry on, while there is one who waits to fill their hearts with life anew. Life anew. Life anew. Life anew. Happy Easter, everybody!
Woohoo! All right.
Great job, band.